The Snapdragon 8 Elites keep rolling out. We've seen the OnePlus 13, we've seen the Xiaomi 15 Pro, and today it's time to take a look at Honor's 8 Elite flagship, the Honor Magic 7 Pro. It's got that Snapdragon 8 Elite, of course, a unique look for the camera array, a very large and high-resolution telephoto camera, one of the fastest fingerprint scanners around, and in today's video, let's first get the Magic 7 Pro unboxed and then take a look at everything Honor's done with their latest flagship. If this is your first time here, or in case you just can't remember, my name's Ash, you're watching C4E Tech, and let's get started. Now this is the box the Honor Magic 7 Pro comes in. I've picked up the 16512 variant, the base is 12256. Let me cut through the plastic and remove it off. Once we open up the box, the first thing you see is the Magic 7 Pro itself. So this time I picked up the white variant. Honor also offers this phone in black, blue and grey. If you ask me, the grey with the shady patterns underneath, I'd say that's the best looking SKU here, though my white doesn't look all that bad, does it? Now as the Magic 7 Pro boots up, let's dig deeper. Next up is this black insert which has a SIM tool, a quick start guide and a frosted TPU case. This is a soft case, it looks and feels nice. We then have a USB Type-A to Type-C cable with orange accents. And finally, there's this 100-watt Honor supercharger. Now the Magic 7 Pro also supports wireless charging at up to 80 watts, which is faster than the 50 watts that we typically see on Chinese flagships these days. Now Honor's also packed in a 5850 mAh battery here, and the Magic 7 Pro, it's 8.8 millimeters thick and weighs in at about 225 grams. Now the display here, it's got almost symmetric bezels and there's curves on all four sides. Now if you look closely, you can see that the back does the same too. And the sides, they are chamfered at the edges, meaning the Magic 7 Pro, it sits quite well in the palm of your hand. It's comfortable to hold and use. Now the back, Honor's used frosted matte glass here, so it's very resistant to fingerprints and smudges. That said, the metal sides, they have a polished, glossy finish, so they pick up smudges and fingerprints very easily. Now this white SKU, it's milky white when you look at it, but when it catches the light, when it reflects it, it's got an almost pearlish look, which I kind of liked. And this camera array here, I'm not sure how I feel about it. It definitely is unique, I'll give it that, but it's a circular array that's fit into a rounded rectangle that kind of smoothly melds into the glass back. Now, I do like it more than the camera array design on the Magic 6 Pro, but overall, what do you guys think? Which of these two do you prefer? Also, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this design? Leave a comment down below. Now this phone has an IP68, IP69 rating for dust and water resistance, and both the fingerprint scanner and the display, they can be used with wet hands. Now that's possible because there is an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner here, and I love the placement. And it needs just 3 presses to register a fingerprint. Nuts, right? After that, the lightest of touches seem to be enough to get accurate scans. This definitely is amongst the fastest scanners I've come across in a while. And see this ugly pill-shaped cutout here? It's here because Honor's added a time-of-flight sensor with the regular 50 megapixel selfie camera, so you get more secure 3D face unlock that can also be used in a dark room at night. Now regular selfies, they turned out fine too. They were detailed with accurate skin tones and pretty good edge detection. For video, you can shoot 4K 60 via the selfie camera. Now there's some AI integration here, like some fun styles to generate images based on what you've already shot. Also, if your eyes were closed in a selfie, Honor will help you get them open as long as you have other pictures taken of the face. It's a little AI-ish, if I might. I mean, it's not quite perfect yet. Now the display you're seeing all this on, it's 6.8 inches OLED with a 1.5K resolution, meaning a pixel density of 453 pixels per inch. So it's quite a sharp panel and it's covered by Rhino glass for protection. It also has a refresh rate of 120 Hz. There's 8T LTPO tech that lets you vary refresh between 1 and 120 Hz as needed. Honor boasts of a brightness peak of 5000 nits, but that's for HDR. And in my testing, this display maxed out at 800 nits under manual mode and 1600 nits under auto. So it's a bright panel, very easy to use outdoors. Honor has also provided a lot of options for eye protection, and under low light, this panel uses 4320 Hz PWM dimming for those sensitive to OLED flicker. Additionally, under developer options, you can also find a toggle to enable AT LTPO single stripe mode if you want to. Now to complement this awesome display, Honor's included a pair of stereo speakers that sound really good. Now the S24 Ultra has good stereo speakers, right? If you listen closely to this side by side, you'll notice that the Magic 7 Pro actually edges ahead. Did you notice it? Now, even for dialogue, it's very good. Check this out.
Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this. Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this.
I also love how these speakers are asymmetric, meaning no matter how you hold the phone, when you say gaming, you're still going to have at least one uncovered. Now, talking about gaming, this phone, like I've mentioned already, is powered by Qualcomm's flagship Snapdragon 8 Elite. This chip uses Qualcomm's new custom Orion cores and brings with it a huge boost in performance over the 8 Gen 3. But like the other implementations we've seen so far, Honor 2 has struggled to cool it. On a 3D Mark stress test, the Magic 7 Pro lost over half its performance. But here's the thing, a couple of nights back, I let this test run and went to bed. Later on, when I got up for a drink of water, I saw this on screen and ended up taking a picture with my tablet. So I didn't really get to check out the temperatures then. But the next day I got an update, and after that the Magic 7 Pro's been able to finish the test. And it didn't get too hot either. The screen was only about 42 degrees, which is good compared to say the Xiaomi 15 Pro's 47. And the back was relatively cool at 36 degrees. Now I did notice something weird here. When you look close, there's just one loop where the Magic 7 Pro dipped a lot more. If you remove this 3000, the next lowest score is about 4000, meaning a stability of 61% barring that 1 minute. So I reran the test a few more times and I kept noticing the same results. Temperatures of about 42 on screen, 36 to the back, and about 47% final stability. And every time when you look around the 8 or 9 minute mark, the Magic 7 Pro had one big dip, which it then recovered from and stayed at about 60% performance for the rest of the test. Maybe this means with another update Honor could improve stability. Either way, despite the throttling, the 8 Elite does seem to have enough horsepower to run most games smoothly and there is no overheating to worry about. Now this chip here, it's paired with 12 or 16 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM and 256, 512 gigs or up to a terabyte of fast UFS 4.0 storage. Now for all variants, Honor is offering satellite connectivity, at least in China. Then there is an IR blaster up top and the USB Type-C port here, it's USB 3.2 Gen 2 with DisplayPort 1.2, which means you can output to a monitor. And here you don't just get to mirror the display, which you can if you wanna, but Honor actually provides a full-fledged DeX-like desktop experience with the phone acting as a trackpad. So software, the Honor Magic 7 Pro, it's running on Magic OS 9 built atop Android 15. And given these specs, it's no surprise the interface, it's fast, it's responsive, it's snappy. While Honor hasn't confirmed their update policy for this phone, given they committed to 4 years of Android version updates and 5 years of security patches for its predecessor, the Magic 6 Pro, I'd say it's a safe bet that the Magic 7 Pro gets at least that. Now Magic OS 9 has some AI functionality built in. We already saw Facetune and Eye Open. Then there's some AI beauty options, the AI eraser that lets you remove objects from images after they've been shot. There's AI outpainting that lets you generate and extend an image. And there's AI style, which again we saw already. Now most of these don't seem to happen on device and they need a network connection, which I found weird. But hey, Honor is the only brand that I've used so far that's not asked me to sign into their account to access AI services. So that's a pro, right? Anyways, let's now talk about the actual optics. Now this camera array, it's got 3 sensors. The primary, it's a 50 megapixel H9000, which is basically a 1x1.3 inch OmniVision OV50H that's been customized for Honor. It's paired with a f1.4 to f2 variable aperture lens. This I feel is a gimmick because there's really not much of a difference between f1.4 and f2 on a sensor this small. Now guys, I'm shooting on a full frame camera, okay? I'm at f2. This is f2.2. This is f2.5. Do you see a major difference in blur? And this is on a full frame camera. So on a 1x1.3 inch sensor, it's not a big deal. Anyways, during the day, the Magic 7 Pro tends to stick to f2 almost always. You gotta use the Pro mode if you wanna force it to shoot f1.4. That said, images were fine. There's good amounts of detail, excellent dynamic range, slightly boosted saturation with respect to colors, though to be fair, Honor does offer a natural option. I shot all this on vibrant. They also offer an authentic if you like contrasty shots, so there are options there. Now under low light, here's where at times the Magic 7 Pro shoots f1.4 if there's extra light needed. The images in low light conditions were again very good. The highlights were controlled, there was ample detail, the noise levels have been kept very minimal. The secondary camera, it's a 50 megapixel ultra wide. This one has autofocus and can focus as close as 2.5 centimeters to get macro shots like this. Now the absolute highlight when it comes to optics here, it's gotta be the Periscope Telephoto. This is a 200 megapixel 1 by 1.4 inch sensor, which is pretty large for a secondary camera. It's paired with a 3x telephoto lens with optical image stabilization. The sheer resolution of the sensor coupled with Honor's processing gets us results like this. Now just to show you the reach, here is where I am. This is an ultra wide shot. 1x, here's the shot. 3x, 6x. And now let me zoom in all the way to 100x and get the number plate of that car parked there. From here to here. Neat, right? The Studio Hardcode portrait options that we saw on the Honor 200 Pro, they are present here too and they seem nice. I particularly like those black and white portraits. For video, this phone can shoot 4K 60 via all three of its sensors. And the studio mode that we've seen before with Honor, the one that gives you usable footage even when zooming in 10x, that's also available here and works fine. And with that, let's now talk pricing. In China, the Magic 7 Pro starts from 56.99 RMB, which converts to about $800 US or 68,000 rupees Indian. And that's pretty much everything I have on Honor's Magic 7 Pro. What do you guys think about this phone? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've made it this far, guys, it's 3:30 a.m. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, I'm still here doing the voiceover. I have stuff to shoot after this, so I'm putting in a lot of work here, and this is like my third video in the last 7 days, or fourth video, I don't know. So if you enjoyed the video, if you've made it this far, drop this video a like, and if you want to watch more coverage like this, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. Ash out.